Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back here with a UMX project. So my UMX FA6 crashed a couple weeks ago. Kind of a freak accident, not really even sure what happened. But I used the goods and we are upgrading the MiG-15. So this is the Saber brick. Got rid of the connector for the motor because the wires were long and the connector was just no room for it up here. So changed the push rod for the steering, changed out the elevator servo to one of the servos from the Saber, and then I also changed out the aileron servos. And you can see here I had to move the fan way back here. This is the original fan location, mostly because these batteries are so freaking big and heavy. So this is a 4-cell 450. This is what you use in the Saber. I contemplated doing 3-cell, which would have made the fitment far easier, and the CG, and it probably would have flown better than it did before. But this setup is super hot on 4-cell, so kind of had to give it a whirl. Honestly, I probably should have moved the fan a little farther back for CG, but anyways, pretty much ready to button up. Decided to show you guys. This fan is bigger, so you have to hog out all this. I added a spar. This is the brick right here, so it's got plenty of cooling. And because we're going to need extra air for the bigger fan and all that, the battery sits in here, and then this is kind of like a cheater hole behind the battery. So trying to decide or finalize my battery retainment setup. Should be something kind of hokey. I think it'll work. Had to enlarge the tailpipe a little bit, put some servo covers on it. Obviously it needs to be all touched up and everything once it's done. I did add a pilot. These didn't come with pilots. So yeah, I made a little fiberglass tray for the battery to sit on. So yeah, we're pretty much just about there, and we're gonna make some sort of battery cover deal that will retain the battery from falling out. So anywho, that's where we're at. You kind of see what I've carved out here. Did not have time for this project, but I decided to do it anyways. So I should be getting ready for Scale Masters next weekend, but I have hella ADHD, so this is what we're doing. Anyways, just about done with it. Hopefully we're gonna go fly here pretty soon. All right guys, so we're out here at the field. We're on our 4th or 5th flight now, so we had to make some changes. We came out here earlier today and it was pretty windy, but it was super nose heavy, and the fan just wasn't making power. So I ended up adding an extra cheater hole here, and I got the battery pushed back farther. We got a little bit of lead back here, you can see. And also the tailpipe was a little too small, so I had to hog that out a little bit more, and now it's performing great. So still a little nose heavy. Weight wise, it's about 4.5 ounces with the 450 4-cell, and that's with the lead. The Saber, by comparison, is just over 6 ounces with the same battery. So it's 1.5 ounces lighter and a little bit smaller. The ducting obviously isn't nearly as good as the Saber, because the biggest problem is all these wires on the battery. I got wires just sitting in the duct. I don't have anywhere else to put them. So anyways, it's flying pretty good. So we're gonna give you guys a little demonstration here. Use my safe for the throw, and start my timer. This thing zings around pretty good. We're at our park, so we're kind of limited on space. We got trees, poles, and everything else. So this battery almost seems better than the last one too. So I'm gonna come around here and do a diving pass. So lots of vertical. Look at that puppy go, man. Definitely better. So the first couple of flights we did before I changed the ducting a little bit, it was marginally better than the original power system, so I was pretty disappointed. And so we kind of went back to the drawing board. I didn't really measure the tailpipe, when I first did the modifications, and then when we got back home, I checked it against the Saber, and it was way too small. So open it up, you could hear the fan was stalled, and so now it sounds really clean and quiet. This is what, 3/4 power or so. She's boogieing along pretty good. It is still a little nose heavy. Inverted flight takes a lot of push, and it drops the nose pretty good in a roll. So that's kind of unfortunate. But it is flying sweet. The performance is substantially better than it was with the stock motor and stuff, and it's much quieter. That stock fan is super loud. Coming here for a loop. And if any of you have flown the original MiG, you would know how much better this is than the original power system, especially compared to the very first version of the MiG, which was super underpowered. So we do have a little breeze.
3 minutes.
I'm trying to negotiate all these trees around here. Yeah, the first flight was extra hairy because it was so nose heavy. I was holding full up, and the Saber receiver board has down mixed in it with full throttle, and so I was fighting that. Man, I don't know how it didn't go into the trees across the way there, but somehow I got that thing back on the ground, and it was sketchy. So yeah, this thing's definitely moving better. It'll be nice to fly it at our actual flying field where we can stretch its legs a little bit. But you can see how nicely it's moving, and we're probably going to fly it head to head with the Saber just for fun. There comes a full throttle pass. See, look at that vertical pull. It's freaking awesome.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Now you do notice the extra weight. It doesn't land nearly as slow as it once used to, but it's not horrible. It did, on my last landing, it did tip stall right as I was flaring it. But pretty thick grass out here, so it wasn't a big deal. So let me bring this thing around and try and land it here. Again, we kind of have to negotiate all these trees and stuff. Last time I kind of brought it around real low and slow and flew it around in a circle, which we're probably gonna have to do again. Ooh. All right, let's bring it back around here into the wind. There we go. Not bad. So let's go check it out. This was one of those little projects. I gotta have ADHD because
1 minute.
I should be doing stuff that's not related to messing with micros, but this is one of those little projects that I've been thinking about for a while, and I was kind of like, you know what, let me mess with that thing. So anyways, like I said, the CG is right about here, and it should really be like a 1/4 inch farther back. And I don't know if I'm going to add more weight or see if I can get the battery farther back or what, but anyways, as you can see now, it smokes pretty good. So now we gotta touch up all the paint, make it look pretty again. But yeah, anyways, hope you guys liked our UMX MiG-15 upgrade, and we'll see you in the next one.